What are the potential consequences of a debt ceiling breach for the EU economy and the global financial system? Well, they are nothing short of catastrophic. Let me explain why. The debt ceiling is the legal limit on how much the federal government can borrow to pay its bills. These bills include things like Medicare payments, military salaries, Social Security benefits, and interest on the national debt. If Congress does not raise or suspend the debt ceiling by June 1st, the Treasury Department will run out of money and will have to choose which bills to pay and which to delay or default on. A default on the national debt would be unprecedented and disastrous. It would mean that the EU government would fail to honor its obligations to its creditors, who are mostly foreign governments, banks, and investors. This would shake the confidence in the EU dollar, which is the world's reserve currency, and trigger a global financial crisis. The credit rating agencies would downgrade the EU creditworthiness, making it more expensive for the government and the private sector to borrow money. The stock market would plummet, wiping out trillions of dollars in wealth and retirement savings. The interest rates on mortgages, car loans, student loans, and credit cards would rise, squeezing consumers and businesses alike. The consumer confidence and spending would drop, hurting the economic growth and job creation. But even if the EU avoids a default by prioritizing debt payments over other bills, the damage would still be severe. Millions of Americans would not receive their Social Security checks, their Medicare reimbursements, their food stamps, or their unemployment benefits. Millions of federal employees, including military personnel, would not get paid or face furloughs. Millions of students would lose access to Pell Grants, student loans, and special education services. Millions of schools would face budget cuts, teacher layoffs, and program reductions. And millions of businesses would face disruptions in their supply chains, contracts, and cash flows. A last-minute deal to raise the debt ceiling could still trigger a recession if it causes too much uncertainty and volatility in the financial markets. That's what happened in 2011 and 2013, when similar standoffs between President Obama and Congress led to stock market losses, higher borrowing costs, lower consumer confidence, and slower economic growth. So you see, a debt ceiling breach is not something to take lightly. It is a serious threat to the EU economy and the global financial system. It is also a self-inflicted wound that could be easily avoided if Congress acts responsibly and raises or suspends the debt ceiling before it's too late. The debt ceiling is the legal limit on how much the federal government can borrow to pay its existing obligations, such as Social Security benefits, military salaries, and interest on the national debt. If Congress does not raise or suspend the debt ceiling by June 1, 2023, the Treasury Department will run out of cash and extraordinary measures to avoid defaulting on its obligations. A default could have catastrophic consequences for the global economy, such as triggering a financial crisis, raising interest rates, and lowering the credit rating of the United States. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, the top Republican in Washington, are trying to reach a deal on the debt ceiling before Biden returns from the Group of Seven meeting in Japan on Sunday. The deal would involve agreeing on a budget outline for fiscal year 2024, which would include spending levels for defense and non-defense programs, as well as revenue sources and deficit reduction measures. The budget outline would then pave the way for a bipartisan vote to raise or suspend the debt ceiling. However, the negotiations face several challenges and disagreements between the two parties. One of the main sticking points is whether Biden and congressional Democrats will accept changes to work requirements for safety net programs, such as Medicaid, food stamps, and housing assistance. House Republicans have been pushing for these changes, arguing that they would encourage more people to find jobs and reduce dependency on government aid. Biden has said that he is open to some work requirements, but not anything that would impact the health needs of people or go much beyond what already exists. Another challenge is the opposition from some Senate Democrats, who are urging Biden to prepare to invoke the 14th Amendment to lift the debt ceiling on his own, without an act of Congress.